On 60 Minutes yesterday, trial attorney John Keker accused Trump of an impeachable offense. This is a top attorney who is saying the quiet part out loud. Donald Trump may be guilty of bribery, and this is exactly the kind of offense that the Constitution specifically says is grounds for impeachment. This claim came as John Keker, he's one of these high-profile San Francisco lawyers. He said to 60 Minutes yesterday, Trump's executive orders targeting major law firms, which we have covered, another blisteringly authoritarian move, those could amount to a, quote, thing of value in return for an official act. We call that a bribe in polite society. And Keker says, and we're going to watch the clip, anybody else who came to Washington and said, I will give you $100 million of free legal services if you do this for me, would be convicted of a bribe. Let's take a look.
You're at the mercy of the government, and it's like a protection racket.
John Keker is a prominent attorney and Democrat in San Francisco.
You're not suggesting that the president's running a protection racket.
I am. I'm suggesting that he is violating the rule that says you can't offer a thing of value in return for an official act. That happens to be the definition of bribery. Anybody else who came to Washington and said, I will give you $100 million of free legal services if you do this for me, would be convicted of a bribe.
Okay, so what is he talking about? Trump has been retaliating against law firms that have crossed him, especially those involved in investigations or lawsuits against him or against his allies, by cutting them off from federal contracts and revoking their security clearances, which makes it really difficult for them to do a lot of the work that they do. The only way that they can get back in is if they strike a deal with the White House to perform massive amounts of pro bono work for Trump-backed causes. Now, 9 major law firms have already folded, and they've agreed to provide nearly $1 billion in free legal services. That is not just aggressive politics. This is using the federal government to extract value from a private firm in exchange for access. By the way, not something typically associated with capitalistic societies, but something very often seen in authoritarian, communistic, centrally planned societies. But put that aside for a moment. According to Keker, this is textbook corruption and it's impeachable. Skadden, Arps, Slate, Meagher, and Flom is one of them, quite a mouthful. That's one of the world's largest law firms. They signed on for $100 million in free work. Attorney Brenna Frey resigned in protest and warned the firm was tacitly saying, we won't fight in court. And this is a chilling admission for a profession that is supposed to hold the government accountable. Mark Elias is another prominent lawyer who's been on this show. He's been targeted in Trump's orders as well. Mark Elias described the whole scheme as, quote, like a mob boss intimidating the neighborhood. He said Trump is the walking embodiment of everything that is wrong with the American political system. And of course, that's true. So it's not just legal experts raising alarms. A federal judge has ruled that one of Trump's executive orders was unconstitutional retaliation and blocked its enforcement. And what that means is that the courts are already starting to push back on what does look like an abuse of power. To kind of complete the circle of corruption, Trump's pressure campaign has reached 60 Minutes itself, where this interview aired. And Paramount, which is the show's parent company, has tried to rein in reporting, awaiting the Trump administration approval for a corporate merger. It's disgusting. It's the worst of crony capitalist, monopolistic, authoritarian politics. And an executive, as you know, resigned from 60 Minutes, we talked about last week, in protest. So it's not just hurt feelings and bad optics. If what John Keker is alleging holds up, we are talking about the direct exchange of favors using the power of the presidency. It's bribery, but it's also impeachable. And where we are left is asking the same question we've been asking increasingly over the last 2 months. What does it mean for something to be against the law if there is no practical means, method, and volition to hold the lawbreakers accountable when the lawbreakers are Trump and people associated with Trump? This is why I'm hearing from so many in our audience saying, David, I'm leaving the country. There's no way to fight back. They're just doing whatever the hell they want. I can't say I blame them. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I can't say I blame them.
If you run a business, you know managing multiple systems gets overwhelming. That's why there's Odoo, the all-in-one business management software. It simplifies your entire workflow, puts everything together in one easy-to-use platform. Our sponsor, Odoo, will seamlessly integrate all these different parts of your business: CRM and sales, accounting, inventory, manufacturing. Imagine effortlessly sending quotes, managing leads with predictive scoring, automating purchase orders, tracking real-time inventory, all of it with an intuitive dashboard. Manufacturing becomes streamlined with Odoo's comprehensive production planning, scheduling tools, quality management features. The best part is it's fully customizable. I really find that I want to customize for my business how these dashboards work. You only need to install or use the apps that your business actually needs and tailor the platform to fit your workflow. Simplify your business management today. You can try Odoo completely free for 14 days, no credit card required, plus your first app is free forever. Visit odoo.com/Pacman now. The link is in the description.